How are you? What a beautiful kid that is.
Thank you.
What a gift
so
from God.
Much.
Yeah.
She truly is. She is the biggest blessing. Hi, I'm Andrea. It's so lovely to meet you. I'm really grateful that you came out to our campus. Something that kind of has me like on the fence of whether or not I go kind of like full blown more like conservative or moderate is just seeing how
Give it up. That is a gift from the Lord, everybody. That is just beautiful.
Say thank you. But something that like I've seen and just reading things from like Candace Owens and seeing how like welfare has like really like destroyed like the family unit. I see that, we're starting to save a lot of money from things such as like Doge and what they're doing to minimize government. But do you think that some of that money should go back to maybe like reforming the way that welfare is done to help poor families who do want to kind of pursue that American dream? So maybe such as programs like Healthy Start, or there's like a fatherhood program here in Tallahassee me and my family have benefited from to just, promote the family unit.
I think, great question. The number one objective of any social welfare program should be how do we keep the family together and put dads back in the family.
Yes.
That is the number one priority. We don't have to overthink it. Every number gets better for every community if dads are around. Every number gets worse when dads are not around. Unfortunately, in the black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all black youth will be raised without a stable father around. And I know it's crazy, right? And that little precious angel of yours deserves to have a father around. And for daughters and for sons, it's different things. For a daughter, that's a father figure to look up to say that is how a man should act, and someone that I ought to one day marry, someone that will protect me from a vicious world, and someone that makes me understand what strength and not brutality looks like, what justice but not revenge looks like. To have a father figure is a silent way of forming a child to be a mature citizen. And unfortunately, as we've removed dads from families, government has come in and has taken the place. So some people need help and they need social assistance. All of that should be about incentivizing the dad staying around, not the dad leaving. Unfortunately, with welfare, you can get more money for single mother assistance.
This is very true.
And so right, you agree. We're actually subsidizing single motherhood more than we are subsidizing family formation. And so I'm glad to hear about the fatherhood initiative. And if I may speak to the men out there, you are a coward and a petulant child if you impregnate a woman and abandon her. You have a moral obligation to stay with the women of your choosing, hopefully in the confines of marriage. This idea that men can just abandon women and leave the consequences without any responsibility has been a catastrophe for our country. So that's my answer, and I'll say this. The Democrat Party does not talk about dads at all. The Republican Party, we are talking about how men need to be men again, in the home, take responsibility, provide for your family, and with strong families comes smaller government and a better country.
Thank you so much. And I do, if y'all don't mind, I have one more question. Her dad actually wanted to ask this because this was something that to him and our family is really important. We enjoy being out in nature and things like that. So we wanted to know, what was your take on climate change? From what we've seen, a lot of conservatives don't tend to subscribe to climate change, but what can we do if we are leaning more conservative to do things to just promote our, national parks and protect the land that is here? It's something that's especially important to us as Floridians.
So a couple things. We as conservatives get slandered a lot for acting as if we want dirty air and dirty water. That is not true. What is true is two things. We do not catastrophize climate change. We do not think it's the greatest threat to humanity. We think that global temperatures are slightly going up. We acknowledge that. We don't know if human beings are the main driver of that. The biggest issue is this, though. We believe human beings must always come above abstract animal rights concepts. Great example of this is California. In California, they had water issues during the wildfires, largely because they said that we must protect a delta smelt, a fish, above human beings actually being able to have water. When we talk about the environment, we as Christians believe there's an ordering to the environment. It goes as following: God, man, nature. We are above nature, but God created all. We are here to be stewards of nature, and the nature is there for us and for our purposes. But there's nothing biblical or good about polluting. There's nothing biblical or good about destroying the environment. But the distinction is important. We do not worship the earth. You might get closer to God in nature, but God is not in nature. This is a very important Christian concept. that God is not in the water, God is not in the trees, God is outside of nature, and God breathed that nature into existence. Why is that important? Because almost every pagan practice prior to Christianity and Judaism was the worship of the sun, the worship of the river, the worship of the earth. We believe that our God transcends nature and gave it to us as a gift to be able to flourish and multiply. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
First of all, it's great to meet you, Charlie Kirk. I would like to ask if I could shake your hand afterwards. Okay. Well, I just want to speak on your take on college is a scam. So first of all, I just want to ask why you believe college is a scam.
Okay, very simple. Half of the people in this audience going to college, if they get a job, will get a job that doesn't require a college degree. For half the people here, it's completely unnecessary for you to go to college.
Well, that's actually great that you mentioned that, because I want to ask your advice for the half of the people that are not going to get a job in their major or in the field that they're studying, or for someone like me that's 18 years old that's about to enter college. What's your advice for someone like me? What should I look into instead of college?
I'm not here to give advice. I'm here to give general rules for life. Here's what I'll say. If you take, how much money would it cost you to go to Florida State? 100,000?
No, 6,000.
I'm cumulative over 4 years. Anybody?
24, 30.
Out of state, how much? 70, 80? So, but 70, 80. And then in state, it's like 6,000 a year?
No, a semester. Yeah, a year.
That's pretty low, actually. Here's my advice. The time that it takes and the money that you have to spend to go to a college like this, I think is much better suited, A, either traveling the world, culturing yourself, interning, or spending time around people that know what they're doing. You guys should enjoy, because you're like probably in the last 10 years of what college is. This place is going to be completely empty in about 20 years. Artificial intelligence is going to make these places largely obsolete. These colleges are slow to react, they're bureaucratic, and a lot of you guys are going to college for jobs that literally will not exist in 5 years. Artificial intelligence will delete them, and you guys are going to have debt. 4 years where you went to some football games, and you're like, what did I do for those 4 years? I'm being honest. Like, artificial intelligence will eliminate entire majors for you guys in the next 5 to 10 years. And so why are you here? I haven't got a good answer to that, actually. So instead, you should try to make yourself the greatest person you can through either travel, learning another language, culture, reading a bunch of deep books, things that typically don't always happen on college campuses.
All right. Well, thank you. Can I shake your
Yes,
hand
yes,
now?
you can. And you want a hat? Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. Thank you, Charlie, for being here today. We're with an independent FSU news organization, so just want to appreciate the fact that you guys have spent the time to be here. My question is in regards to the FSU chapter of the NAACP released a statement saying that this event was hateful, inspiring violence to Black, LGBTQ, and marginalized students on campus. How do you feel about this comment?
Lies don't bother me, so... But yeah, did you follow up and ask them what their evidence was?
Yes, they're quoting in particular an event that you went to December 2023, America Fest. You were talking about Martin Luther King.
I hosted it, actually.
Okay, perfect. You were talking about Martin Luther King Jr. and said that he has a troubled past and that the Civil Rights Act of the 1960s was a, quote, horrible mistake on the part of the U.S. government. Can you talk about that a little more?
Yeah, sure, but did they tell you why that makes them unsafe?
Yes, their opinion is that, and again, speaking on behalf of them, is that if you host this rhetoric, speaking negatively against the Civil Rights Act that is ending segregation, that there may be actions taken because of that belief that you have.
Right, but I'm going to explain that, but did you ask them that, so different opinions make people feel unsafe at FSU?
They believe that it has a greater movement behind it, yes.
Right, so did you ask them, are you a child? Are you an adult? That's an insane thing to say. So a guy comes on campus and has a different worldview, and it makes people feel unsafe.
I guess to them, yes.
Okay, they're the ones you should be going to ask the question of. Let me be very clear. The world is a really dangerous place where lots of people have different ideas, and just because someone comes and has a voluntary event and has different perspectives should make you feel unsafe. Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we agree. As far as what I said, yes, Martin Luther King, happy to go into it, very troubled past, well-known rapist, all that sort of stuff, right? However, on the other side, the Civil Rights Act, I've done this so many times, happy to do it again, went ending segregation, good, going so as far to create a permanent affirmative action, basically diversity, equity, inclusion, Leviathan within the Department of Justice that is now being used to put men in female locker rooms and men in female sports, of which the Civil Rights Act is a far overextension above its original intent. I point everyone to a book called Age of Entitlement. That's the best book that I'll reference on that. And let me just add one final thing. Do you know of one instance where the NAACP has spoken out against the lack of fathers in black homes in Tallahassee?
I can't speak on anything.
So that's interesting. So the NAACP will make this huge thing saying Charlie Kirk is dangerous and unsafe, and yet they won't go to the black community. Hey, we need more dads. Let me newsflash: dads not being around in black communities is a much bigger threat to the livelihood of black America than Charlie Kirk coming to Florida State University for 3 hours. So maybe the NAACP should stop trying to keep on ginning up this mythology of racism in the country and go after some of the core issues of what's been driving this country and black America towards worse and worse socioeconomic results. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yep, thank you. Who's next? All right, this is an agreement. You go ahead.
Hi, Charlie. It's nice to meet you. My name is Salma. Thanks for coming. As a child of a Moroccan and Peruvian immigrants who came into the U.S. legally and were in the process for 10 years, it's frustrating to see so much biased media outlets nowadays propagandizing Trump as a racist who doesn't want immigrants in this country instead of understanding he's protecting us from illegal criminals who cut in line. So to inform the liberals behind us protesting to get racists off campus, or people listening right now, what would you say are the long-term or short-term consequences of mass illegal immigration on social services and the economy?
Yeah, I mean, it will flood schools, flood hospitals, but even more than that, it's the destruction of the rule of law. And it's an insult to your family that followed the law. Your family came here the right way and filled out the paperwork and waited your turn. You did not cut in line.
Yeah.
So we have to make a decision. Are we going to be a country that follows and honors the rules or rewards rule breakers? And we teach our kids at 2 years old, rule breakers get punished. Don't cut in line. Wait your turn. Yet when it comes to immigration, we act as if it's something totally different. We want people like your family to come here the right way, legally, not breaking in line and then all of a sudden getting rewards because of that.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great again.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello. It's nice to meet you.
Look, got to get more libs, but yes.
Oh, the shirt. Yeah, they're all back there.
They're losing some steam, though.
So I have a question. With the recent
Come on up, libs. Come on.
With the recent release of the
She's going to talk first, and then you can go. Yeah. Don't cut in line. Don't be an illegal immigrant. I'm giving you a hard time. Yeah.
So with the recent release of the Epstein files, do you believe that they could have been altered before they came out? And do you believe that the high-profile people that are in the files will actually be held accountable? Because I don't believe that they
I'm going to
will.
do a quick answer because I answered it earlier. The administration's got to make it right. We deserve to have every single file released unredacted as President Trump signed the executive order. I'm cynical, though, that we're going to get everybody on the client list. I'm afraid it's all been destroyed. But this is one of the great cover-ups. We don't know how involved our own government was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Foreign governments were involved with Jeffrey Epstein. We have a moral right to learn about it, and the administration's got to get that correct.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You want a hat?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, libs.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Hey, Charlie, how you doing? Am I good? All right, my name is Mercury, and I'm a pansexual barista at Starbucks. I don't get what's so funny. I had a question. In a recent interview, you said male baristas aren't masculine enough. Were you serious when you said that?
Enlighten me what I said.
You said male baristas aren't masculine. Yes, I am.
Where's the proof? Where's the proof?
I don't have it here. I don't
Can
have
you
my
make
cup
me a
on me.
latte and come back and prove you're a barista?
I will. Grande. I got you.
Yeah, okay.
So do you believe that
No,
it's a traditional
You're
gender
trolling,
role?
but I think you and I could both agree that male baristas are not exactly usually high on the testosterone
They are.
distribution.
And then last question. If I were to kiss a furry, would that be bestiality?
Next question. Thank you. The trolls used to be so much better a couple years ago. They've lost their edge, right? They've lost their edge, yeah.
Hi, I was just going to ask about what your opinions are with ICE being in school or coming into school.
Yeah, no issue with it.
No issue with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that could they wait at all to until after school for the kids, especially the young ones?
Well, yeah, so
Do you find any problem in it? Like,
So
I
I-
agree with you. Like, if they're here illegally, they broke the law. Like,
Yeah,
leave.
I mean,
but
so I need to probably get more clarity on what is correct and what is not. Do you have evidence that ICE has gone into under 18 schools and started deportation efforts of kids? I don't have any evidence of that.
I don't
Because I
either.
know that's a talking point on the left, right?
Yeah.
But I was thinking more about college, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody here is not here legally, we have every right to find them wherever they are and send them back to their country of origin.
yeah, I have no problem with that.
But
either.
minors, I think, should be handled as delicately and keep the family together. We should not have a mom separated from a kid, send them all back to their country of origin together. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. You want a
nice
hat?
to meet you. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
thank you.
Really quick.
You already came up.
Yeah. Ron DeSantis recently came out in advocating of the
Right.
death penalty for for illegal immigrants specifically who rape children.
Yes, I'm in favor of that. Thank you.
You're in favor of illegal immigration. Sorry. You're in favor of the death penalty?
Yes. Yeah. You've already asked the question.
Okay,
man.
but as a Christian or a Catholic, whatever you are
Yeah.
and your wife is,
Yes.
you don't necessarily believe in that.
Well, of course I do.
Why? No. Because the Ten Commandments specifically say, "Thou shalt not kill."
Right,
So
no, hold
why?
on.
Who are we to judge
And
individuals?
Do you
certain
do you
individuals?
really want to do this?
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Because
Okay. So
'cause
then, what is
I'm
the only
completely
law that
against
is in
it.
all 5 books of the Torah? And name the 5 books of the Torah.
I read the Torah a long time ago. I
Name
can't-
5 books of the Torah. I
Okay.
gave you a chance to get out, and you're not
Right,
getting
right.
out now.
Well,
Name
no,
them.
well,
Name
here's the
one
thing,
book
though.
of the Torah.
Here's the thing, though.
Name
because
one.
You cannot,
Genesis,
you
Exodus,
cannot say
Leviticus,
that.
Numbers,
When you
Deuteronomy.
give the
Hold
government,
on.
When you give the
Time out.
government
What is the only law that is
to kill
repeated?
people,
What is the only law that is
Has the
repeated?
government not abused
Look,
its
man,
power? Has
look-
the government not abused its power?
Second, let me
Has it
finish.
not abused its
Because you
power?
brought up religion. What is the only law that is repeated in all 5 books of the Bible? The only law.
What is it?
That you shall take a life if a life is taken. Why? It is the only law.
Because it also says turn the other cheek.
Well, hold on a second. Not in the Torah. We're talking about the Torah.
No. Okay, but I don't believe in the Torah specifically.
hold on.
I'm
Yeah.
Christian.
Yes, you do.
Look.
Bro,
You're
well,
basing that off of a different
again,
book,
you're,
right?
you're making a fool of yourself, man. Christ said, I did not come to eliminate the laws of the prophets, but instead to fulfill the laws of the prophets. The
Okay.
covenant remains correct. All 613 laws of Judaism are connected to today of today's Christianity. And this is important. In Hebrew, is it kill or murder?
In Hebrew, I believe it's kill.
Wrong. It is thou shalt not murder. The word
Oh, I thought
kill.
you were talking about, like,
no,
the
in the
other-
10
okay.
Commandments. Is it thou shalt not murder or thou shalt
not kill.
No, it's thou
Is
shalt not
what-
murder.
okay,
Is a
well,
is a
that's how it is.
completely different Hebrew word.
Well, if you
See,
want to talk about Hebrew words,
No,
do you
hold
believe
on a second.
in the breath of life rather than soul?
Hold on a second. First of all, it says repeatedly that I knew you before you were in the womb. Christ jumped
Correct.
in Mary's belly when it was next to John the Baptist in Luke 1. You're going in many different directions, but where in Christianity, in any of the 66 books of the Bible, please tell me, does it forbid taking a life when another person kills? Where does it forbid that?
Thou shalt not cast stone if you haven't sinned.
Okay, again, that actually it doesn't say that when it comes to murder. First of all, that was.
But you haven't really had that moment. I mean,
In John 8, what I was talking about, we were talking about was when Jesus interceded with the Pharisees
Yeah.
that were trying to issue the death penalty against the prostitute.
Yes.
Said to the individual, let the first among you without sin cast the
Right.
first stone. At the end of John 8, he says what? He says, and then go forward and sin no more. That is still not a prohibition on the government itself issuing the death penalty, and that is not a life taking a life.
But why would he stop them from doing it?
Well, because she didn't take a life. First of all, what he was doing is interceding with mercy because he's God and not us.
I don't necessarily
Doing a
I don't
certain
necessarily
teaching.
agree with
However,
that
it's very
statement,
important, though. Isn't it insulting to the person who is killed to allow the person who killed them to keep on living? Basically, what you're saying is that the person who killed them's
I
life
genuinely do
is
not
more
think that
important.
Jesus Christ, if he was here now in today's era, he would be like, yeah, kill the person.
Okay, no,
who
this is
killed
interesting.
person.
Let me ask you 3 questions. Is Jesus God?
Jesus is God.
But then God told us for a life.
What do you mean?
Okay, you believe in the Trinity. Everything
the
God
Holy
said,
Trinity.
Jesus said, everything the Spirit said, Jesus said. It's
Correct.
all one
Yeah, it's
God,
all one
right?
God, correct.
So God said repeatedly, if there is a life taken, you shall take a life. It says it in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
I'd have to go up on that, but you're
No.
talking about Hebrew, right? So do you believe in a soul?
Yeah, yes, of
Do you believe in a Okay, so what happens is the Bible specifically says in Hebrew, God gave you the breath of life, not the soul.
hold
Right?
on.
So do you believe that there's a different thing, or that when we die, we go into the grave, into the ground, and we don't come back out from that?
First of all, you're
We don't go to
you're
heaven.
quoting a scripture in Exodus that says that the breath is
That's
in
in
life.
Genesis.
In Exodus. It also says in the book of Leviticus that life is in the blood. It also says in 1 Samuel and also in 2 Kings that I knew you
Correct.
before you were in the womb. I don't want to get too deep in this. We're losing the audience. But I'll just say this. It is, of course, justifiable from a Christian lens that in a judicial standpoint, a justice standpoint, if someone were to commit murder, that you will receive what you yourself did.
But
that is called justice.
I disagree with
All right, so
that.
let me ask you a question. What should we do then to someone who shoots up a school and kills 20 kids? What is a just punishment
I
for them?
don't think the death penalty, I don't think giving the government the ability to kill somebody is
But
proper
hold on,
because
but
they will abuse it at
Interesting.
some point.
So, but you give the government the ability to lock them up for the rest of their life?
Yeah.
Why?
I think that is fair,
That's
though.
still
I think-
punishment, though.
But you're giving the government the ability to kill people the same way that they could lock you in your house for 2 years when there was COVID and all that is the same exact way that they can
you
use
just
something
said it's
against
okay
this.
to lock up a school shooter for the rest of their
Yeah,
life.
but not innocent people who didn't want to take a vaccine. Come on.
Well, of
Well,
course,
so
but
that's what
one
you're
is
saying-
convicted by the jury of their peers, and one is the mass
Exactly,
imprisonment of
but
entire
you
population.
just used-
Yeah,
that is
so
fair.
we'll get to
But
another
I
question. Thank you
disagree.
very much. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Yes.